I don't exactly how to pronounce 맨적으로, is it right? 맨적으로.
Mijn zorglog. Yes.
맨적으로.
Yes.
It's difficult to pronounce. What's the first idea to start the blockchain project in healthcare system?
What we have some special interest groups,
네.
people from healthcare in the Netherlands that are coming together periodically, so every month during the year. And some of them came up with the idea of blockchain and healthcare. As we organized the thing, they gave us the task to look into the subject. Does blockchain give opportunities to use in healthcare? That was 2016, I suppose. So when we started, we just wanted to look into it, investigate if it was usable in any way. And what we didn't do is write a thick report, but we decided, you already mentioned, we also didn't know how it worked, so we wouldn't like to see it live. So we had a technician moving around at our organization and asked him if it would be possible to get a blockchain for healthcare. And he said, yeah, would be good to do that. So we went on a journey to develop a blockchain application just to prove if there was something in it for healthcare. So it was not our main goal to develop an application to sell it all over the world, but we just wanted to investigate if it was possible and how. And if it would help all sorts of problems we already discovered in information exchange in the healthcare. Because when a hospital wants something from another hospital, nowadays we have DVDs going round and round. But what could blockchain do in that sort of things? Use data from the source. Give clients the possibility to make decisions about their own healthcare information. So we went on a journey to look into it, and when it finally was ready, we found out that we were one of the first that made a blockchain application, because nobody did it. A lot of people wrote thick reports on the possibilities, but nobody really made something. So we made it first very small, and then our community said, oh, that looks good, make it bigger. So we made it bigger, and then they said, oh wow, there's really something in blockchain in healthcare. So we looked into processes, what would it mean to the processes in healthcare organizations. We looked into jurisdiction and laws, what would it mean for law. We looked into technology, what would it mean for the technology already existing in healthcare. And last but not least, we looked into what would it mean to patients and organizations to work with a blockchain application. But before we could test that, we did some testing on jurisdiction with people here at the Law Council. We tested it technically with people at the Technical University of Delft. And they all said, go ahead. So when we came to maternity care, we did a blockchain test in practice to see if it would work. And actually, it worked. So our application worked, but has stopped because we were not on a journey to sell it. We were just on a journey to prove that it has possibilities. Because healthcare in the Netherlands, I already explained it in the mail, it's rather difficult. A lot of people are connected to decide which direction to go, also with technology. So we have a strong connection with the Ministry of Welfare and Sports here in the Netherlands to see how we can implement blockchain on the right way into healthcare. To make sure that because our healthcare system is regulated and financed in a big way by the government itself. So when you go to blockchain, the government has to have a say in how it's going to work. What we now see is that around our healthcare system, people are interested in using the blockchain technology for getting things better. So it's a little bit of a question where the next step will be, if it will be a governmental initiative, and we're talking to the ministry, or that in healthcare itself, blockchain applications will grow, and we have to connect them in some way. So that brings us to the next problem. I have one blockchain, but how do we do another blockchain? When I have one blockchain of Suzuki, how do you make it talk to a blockchain of Honda to make it really interconnectable? And there's also the European regulation. Frans van Etten will tell you about it, because we have the so-called, I looked it up for you. We have the so-called GDPR, General Data, what it's called? General Data Protection. General Data Protection Regulation.
I know.
Yeah, it is the regulation for privacy. So at the moment we're doing two things. We're looking into this subject because some people say, oh, when this is in existence and it is, blockchain is not possible anymore. And other people say, oh, that's good, there's no problem, blockchain can go on. So we want to kill the discussion and make sure that we can go on and what we have to do according to this. And another route we are following is an investigation on how the governments in a highly regulated healthcare in the Netherlands, how the governance should be implemented to make sure that we are doing the right thing with blockchain in the Netherlands. So there's a lot to puzzle, there's a lot to find out, but blockchain is here to stay. I don't think there will be a possibility to stop developments on blockchain, also in healthcare, because blockchain can do things we couldn't do with our ICT systems before, and when the possibilities are helping to solve problems we have now in information exchange in healthcare, yeah, that's something to explore because it's worth it. And it's worth it for those who are interested in healthcare. Because when you're not sick, you don't need a doctor. But when you're sick, you want the best doctor there is. And the best information there is. And when blockchain helps to get the best information, it's in the interest of everybody in the Netherlands. Because I can get sick tomorrow and give all sorts of problems. But then I want to have the best healthcare with the best information there is. So I think it's going to stay. Does it give a little bit of a clue of what we were doing? So if you want to sell my blockchain now, I don't have anything because we developed it together. We have a shell with a developer who's testing it in other situations as well, outside and inside healthcare. And we are now setting the field to make it possible to use blockchain on a right way in healthcare in the Netherlands.
I have to say that I not fully understand your saying.
Okay. Just ask.
Is it right that I understand the blockchain project in healthcare is stalled because it's just a project to find out it works, and we have to implement other projects in healthcare. So we put the alternative care blockchain project.
Yeah. Try again. I think I know what you're asking. Try.
The blockchain project in healthcare is stalled. Is stopped.
Yes.
So
as a technical development. So we're not going to bring it to the market to buy it for people in the streets. What we did do is the findings, we got it together and investigated new lines because we found out there are problems to be solved to make sure that blockchain is used in the right way, because you can also use it in the wrong way. And what we are seeking for is interconnection, interoperability, to make sure that when you are sick in the Netherlands, you are able to get all your information on your phone. And that you are in charge of who is going to see your information. I should be the one that decides if one hospital exchanges information with another hospital. And it shouldn't be decided by someone else. So we're exploring to be able to make blockchain change information exchange in the Netherlands on healthcare. So we're not going to sell it, we're only selling our findings, things we found out, to discuss it with other people and to make things go further.
So in March this year, the alternative care was introduced as a pilot project.
Yes.
At that time, as I know, 40 models and 3 alternative care providers.
Exactly.
The insurance company.
Yes.
Participated in the project.
Yes.
After that, the volume of the project was increased or was stalled.
Okay. We wanted to know what it would do when we would bring our pilot project and our application into practice. So we had mothers and we had maternity care organizations and a health insurer. I think there he is. Oh, I have to do this.
Very difficult. 예.
길을 잘못 들어가지고.
아, 그러세요? 저 그거 걱정했어요. You can
Take a seat here. Praat je ook al Nederlands?
Oh, English.
Oh, English only. How long have you been here in the Netherlands?
3 years.
3 years, sir. And no Dutch? Ook niet een klein beetje?
A bit.
Een beetje.
I have to visit my mentor.
I have to look. I don't know if I still got cards. I thought about it yesterday. No, someone else. Ooh. I have to look.
찾아봐야 된다.
네? 아, 네.
아빠가 안 맞아.
네.
아, 저 지금 길을 잘못 들어가지고.
진짜 신경 안 썼어요.
Oh, now you can't even make a fool of me.
I couldn't find the way. I couldn't find the tram stop. So I took a taxi.
All right.
Yeah, that's why I'm late.
Okay. It's rather difficult to get here. And this is you.
Yes.
Okay. I'll mail you a card.
Actually,
이메일로 보내준다는.
이것만 제가
아, 예.
볼게요. Actually, I don't know what's your role in National Healthcare Institution. Is you are advisor or?
Oh, all right. Oh, yeah. The National Healthcare is an organization directly connected to the Ministry of Welfare and Sports with dedicated tasks in the field of healthcare. So a lot of my colleagues are focused on quality, on health insurance and that sort of thing. And one of the things we are interested in too is the possibilities of information technology in healthcare. So that's where I come from. I'm not so much a technician. I'm more like him from the organizational business point of view. Interested in and working as an, you could call it advisor, researcher on issues of information exchange in healthcare. Does that explain? Do you have an idea of what I'm doing? A little. Yeah. Just ask because it's.
아, 보통 기술적인 측면은 자기가 안 하고 관리나 관리를 주로 한답니다.
어떤 부서에 어떤 역할을 맡으시는지.
So what's exactly your position?
Oh, you want to know if I'm a chief? No, I'm just, what should you call it? Senior researcher or something? Senior advisor?
So
In a team? We are with a team of 30 people.
팀장 이런 거 수석 리서처.
In Netherlands insurance institution, healthcare institution,
Again,
Netherlands healthcare institution.
Netherlands healthcare is it's a what do you call it? A Dutch, Netherlands, Dutch healthcare institution. So it's an advisory organization about 300 people, advising the Ministry of Healthcare, Welfare and Sports in the Netherlands on issues regarding quality, health insurance, and information developments like blockchain. But we're also into personal health training and all sorts of new things that have possibilities to use in healthcare. So that's why the blockchain also ended up at the Dutch National Healthcare Center.
그 블록체인을 헬스케어에 적용했을 때 성과가 이제 구체적인 성과가 무엇이었는지 그리고 이제 뭐 한계점이 있었다면 어떤 게 있었는지 거버넌스와 프라이버시 관련해서
When you apply blockchain to healthcare, what are the achievements and what are the limitations, especially in terms of privacy and privacy하고
거버넌스, 헬스케어 정보를 교류할 때
We are doing. I've already explained. We have experienced how blockchain would work in practice, using it in maternity care. We did it for 3 months, just to we did a lot of investigation. I do a little bit recap.
Yeah.
We investigated because we got an order to investigate if blockchain would work in healthcare in the Netherlands, and if yes, how it would work and what it would solve. So we're not so much a startup or something selling the product to the country, but investigating what are the problems we face, what are the possibilities we can use, and is it workable in healthcare. And we found out, we started small, that it definitely had possibilities, and we investigated how it would work. And one of the things we looked into something. We looked into businesses. What would it do to the process?
in business.
In business, what would it mean for the business when you are going to use blockchain?
Okay.
We looked into law and legislation. So things like GDPR and that sort of thing. What would it mean? Does it work with blockchain, and how would it work? We looked into technology, using a new technology next to existing technology. What would it mean? And last but not least, we're interested in what would it mean when we use blockchain for people to use it. So we tested. We didn't write a thick report on all sort of things, but we developed an application to see how it would work, what it would do, how it would do it, to show it to people, to give them an impression what a blockchain application would look like, because there weren't that many blockchain applications. And we tested it eventually in practice to make sure to investigate what it would mean. After the 3 months, we stopped because we had no obligation to sell it or anything to anybody. We just wanted to investigate. So we wrote our findings into research results, and from there on we had 2 main paths to further investigate. One is, does it work with GDPR? Because some people say it doesn't, other people say it works very good. So we want to make a conclusion to that discussion.
Okay.
And another one is the governance we have to do. I already told healthcare in the Netherlands is highly regulated. A lot of government is involved because government sets the regulations for our healthcare in the Netherlands. So we have to find out how to regulate things. Do we want to regulate when blockchain is used?
Okay.
So 2 plus, privacy, does it work with GDPR? Second, governance, how do we organize it?
Okay.
And then do we have to organize it? Or do we leave it to the market? And what will happen then?
오케이. 그래서 3개월 동안 이렇게 조사를 했는데 뭐 이걸 팔려고 비즈니스 상품을 만들려고 한 목적은 아니고 그냥 이렇게 조사만 했대요. 3개월 동안. 근데 성공적이었고 일단 한 게 어떻게 비즈니스 what are the 4 parts again? First bit?
Business, processes?
예? 뭐 이거 상업용으로 사용 가능한지.
Yes.
And second,
Legislation.
그리고 법률의 가능성.
Then we have technology.
그리고 기술적인 부분.
And the participants, the users.
그리고 실용적인 측면. 그리고 여기서 마지막 두 가지 결론은 제일 중요한 결론은 GDPR에 관한 거하고 그걸 두 번째는 그거 건강 법률에 대해 그게 제일 제일 그 중요한 두 가지로 축약된대요.
When you apply the blockchain technology, because as I know that there is a very participant in the system, they have different interests. So, in my opinion, because the insurance company don't provide insurance money to the patient because it's a fee. So they don't want to blockchain system because it enables the immediate payment to the patient.
This is rather complex. Our healthcare system is complex. When you get healthcare in the Netherlands, there's one thing first, and if it's determined if you really need the healthcare. So and we have organizations for that as well. When it's determined you need the healthcare, the insurance company, we have a insurance policy, a policy that you are a member of a healthcare club, a healthcare insurance company. When it's definitive that you need healthcare, the healthcare insurer must pay. So we first have an objective, what you call it, investigation if you really need care, and when that is done, payment is secured to a certain level. Keep that in mind. So one of the most important things we learned were 2 things, and it's from blockchain as well. One, you have tackled the double spending problem, but that's a technical thing. But the social thing is more important, because what we found out in the test we did in practice, the maternity care organizations weren't too eager to register directly into the system of an insurance company, because there's not so much trust. So they liked the blockchain more because it's a shared reality together with everybody without any boss. So they liked it as much. And further, they give healthcare to clients who are member of an insurance company, but we don't have one insurance company, we have a lot. So the clients they give healthcare to are from different healthcare insurance companies. So when they would have to register it in all those systems, the administrative burden would be more instead of less. With a blockchain in which everybody participates on the same level, that trust problem is solved because there's no boss, but there's one truth only, namely in the blockchain. So that was very important for us. I'll give you an article, just have to look it up. I was very Just have to look it up so I can see that. I think it's over here. Here you see the two things, the technical thing and the social thing. So what you're about to do, yeah, just make a picture of it.
Yes.
And what you're referring to is that the insurance company wouldn't trust the delivery, but deliver the reference of healthcare. But it's objectively decided that healthcare should be given, in this case, when a baby is born. So there shouldn't be no distrust from the insurance company. You just have to make sure that money is spent the right way. So the trust is moving around a little bit. And what we saw is especially the second thing, when different organizations are doing healthcare for the same person, trust is very important, and one truth is very important as well, because when there's discussion about how many hours or if it should be done, then you have a lot of fuss, but when there's one truth only in the blockchain, all those problems don't exist. So we found out in our testing in practice that especially the social thing was very, very important, because you eliminate all sorts of problems that can occur when you're not using a blockchain. In healthcare, at the moment, not using blockchain, we see all sorts of fuss, administrative discussion, and also that sort of thing. And you all lose that when you use one blockchain, because everybody is using the same blockchain with the same information. I don't know if I answered the question by this. So you just have to check.
대답이 확실한가요?
It's really.
No.
I don't fully understand. How about
여기 두 가지 문제점이 있는데 기술적인 문제점하고 사회적 문제점이 있는데, 기술적 문제점은 이거 뭐 중복페이 되는 건데 그건 그렇게 중요하지 않고, 사회적 문제점은 그 뭐 신뢰 문제인데, 사회적 그냥 인간 대 인간을 이렇게 할 때 나오는 문제 있잖아요. 그냥 사람 뭐 일 처리하는 데서 나오는 문제를 다 없애준다고 한 번에. 그게 제일 큰 포인트. 네.
혹시 그 나중에 이거 좀 보시고 나서 좀 구체적으로 다시 좀
예,
설명해 주실 수 있나요?
알겠습니다.
예, 이게 좀 너무 길어서.
예.
그 흔히 이렇게 그런 말도 있잖아요. 블록체인이 적용됐을 때 이제 제3의 중개자가 없어지니까 without the trusted third party,
Yes.
the blockchain. If we introduce blockchain in the industry, there is no need to be here to have the third party. So, somebody say that in that situation, the job has disappeared because of the disappearing of the third party.
If that's a problem.
Some people say that. So,
That is okay. I think in healthcare in the Netherlands it's not so much a problem when it disappears. We have lots of third parties that we don't really need, because in healthcare what only counts is a civilian, you and me, and a healthcare organization. That's where everything happens. The rest is all administrative burden, organization to make it possible to get the right healthcare for the right people. Because we have technologies we know now, we organized the whole spectrum underneath with technology we know and we can use. What we saw is when blockchain comes in, new possibilities for technology are appearing. The possibility to organize all what's under the real primary process can change, and a lot of administrative burden can be much easier, so much cheaper, effective, efficient than how it is nowadays. So the primary process is here, and the rest is under investigation. And do we need all the third parties in there? No, we don't need it, but we need them now because we don't have anything else. To make sure that everything is good, organized in the right way, we now need third parties. But we also, I think your anxiety is about not spending too much on healthcare. But we have organizations in our healthcare system in the Netherlands that look into your situation and decide on their authority if healthcare is necessary or not. So we have some sort of checks and balances organized into the system. And that's apart from if you need intermediaries, third parties to make information exchange work. It's not really necessary because it all comes down to the client and its organization. That one that's sick and that one that possibly has an answer.
일단 제3자가 행정적 처리하는데 비용만 증가시키는 관점에서 보고 있는데 일단 지금은 지금 조사 중인데 일단 지금은 현재로는 필요한 상태고 그 궁극적으로는 제3자가 필요 없다고 행정적 비용만 증가시키니까 결국에는 뭐 그 3자가 필요 없는 거잖아요. 이거 이 일하는 그래서 예. 근데 대답 원래 일자리 그런 거 물어보신 거 아니었어요?
네 맞아요. 예.
아 근데 그 답변 안 해주나요? 다시 물어볼까요?
아니 있었어요. 그 의료정보의 개념이 뭐고 그리고 그 의료정보의 개념이 이제 병력이나 어떤 치료 그런 과정을 뜻하는 건지 그리고 블록체인에 올라가는 의료정보라는 게 그런 것인지 궁금하고 그리고 어떤 정보가 이제 블록체인상에 올라갈 수 있고 어떤 거는 오프체인이라고 해야 되나? 그런 것을 저장해야 되는 건지.
오프체인이라고 부르나요?
네, 블록체인 바깥에 저장해야 되는 걸 오프체인이라고 하더라고요. 네.
So what's the concept of healthcare with blockchain? So what information do you put there, and what information goes to off-chain?
Very good, because you can't put a Röntgen photo. You know, when you photograph your bone, it's a big file. So you don't want to put that into the blockchain.
Okay.
So what we did in our blockchain is put references to linked data in the source systems of organizations. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So we kept
Like the number. You number the files and
those numbers are links. Links to addresses to get to where data can be linked.
Okay.
So it's working with linked data.
Okay.
You have to explain that first.
그래서 뭐 MRI 사진이나 그런 거 찍으면 이렇게 사진이 나오잖아요. 그런 건 파일이 너무 커서 블록체인에 안 올리고 따로 근데 그 파일이랑 연결된 그 참조 번호 같은 거 맞는데요. 그런 걸 올려서 이렇게 다 그 다른 그 기존 파일이랑 이렇게 연결되게 만든다.
And when you use that concept, you can connect every organization in healthcare in the Netherlands to your problem. So when it's your blockchain and you have all the links available, you can connect to all information you want.
Okay.
And there's another feature. What we thought was necessary was that you decide who can get to the information. So you decide if your doctor can see it, if your we call it home care doctor, hospital, pharmacy can have access to. Now that's regulated, very difficult, but here you can say, yes, I want to share my information with you, temporarily or permanent. So the possibility to connect gives you the possibility to control your own data. because when you don't have the right key from the blockchain, you can't get to the information.
오케이. 그래서 이 개념을 사용하면 뭐든지 다 연결시킬 수 있대요. 이 일에서. 그래서 이게 자기네들이 또 생각한 게 자기네들이 원하는 사람만 지금 현재 법률상에서는 이게 어려운데 그 블록체인 사용하면 자기네들이 원하는 사람, 예를 들어 의사만 보게 하고 싶으면 의사한테 그 블록체인 키를 줘서 여기 딱 특정인만 보게 할 수 있다고.
You understand?
네.
Alright.
그 이제 블록체인 규모가 계속 커지면은
네.
원래 이제 제가 일할 때 블록체인이라는 게 여러 사회들에 있는 그런 퍼블릭 블록체인도 있고 아니면 이제 또 폐쇄된 프라이빗이나 어떤 컨소시엄 블록체인도 있다고 들었는데
야, 그렇지.
헬스케어 분야에서는 어떤 블록체인이 사용되고 있는 건지.
I already understand what you were trying to. Just try me.
There are different types of blockchain, right?
Exactly.
Public blockchain and private blockchain. And what type do you use?
We used a private blockchain, permission blockchain.
Okay.
So not everybody can just enter like with Bitcoin. And that's because we need that because the regulations on our healthcare in the Netherlands are big. And we are able to put those regulations into smart contracts.
Smart contract?
That's, you know what smart contract? Smart contract is a business rules of the blockchain.
Okay.
So when it rains, you should use an umbrella.
Okay.
When the sun is shining, you put on your sunglasses.
Yeah.
So if then else, that kind of thing. So our regulations are in the Netherlands in healthcare are very possible to translate them into regulations into the blockchain. So an open blockchain that would be not so much applicable for healthcare in the Netherlands. So it's a good question. I'll show you another. You're prepared. It's good. Just look if you got it. It's this. Not my knowledge, I found it on the internet. But you can decide on whether you want what kind of blockchain you want. If you really need blockchain, do I even need blockchain? What we see is that a lot of people over in the Netherlands as well are very enthusiastic about blockchain and want to do blockchain all the way. Our point of view is that you have to think about blockchain. Do I really need it? And where do I need it? And how do I need it? So you have to make some choices about reasonable application of blockchain. If you can do it without blockchain, do it without blockchain. We're not blockchain promoters. We're just looking into the possibilities it has for healthcare. So when you look through these decisions, you can see that sometimes you don't use a blockchain. And when we're into healthcare, these are the important questions because I don't use a blockchain publicly when I come to the private blockchains. The private blockchains give the possibilities to translate our regulations and law on healthcare into blockchain rules. And that's very nice.
블록체인을 무조건 그냥 블록체인이라고 해서 정의시킨 게 아니라 왜 필요하고 왜 사용하는지 그걸 정해서 쓴다고. 그래서 이런 경우에는 법률이나 이런 비용들을 감소시킬 때 블록체인 쓰면 훨씬 더 도움된다고.
메인적 로그라고 하더라고요. 지금 발음이 좀 어려운데 그거 외에 또 개입하고 있는 헬스케어 분야에서 블록체인 사업이 있는지.
메인적으로.
네, 메인적 로. 이게 이제
Mijnzorglog.
헬스케어.
Oh yeah. That's what our application is called. Mijnzorglog.
그거 외에 또 다른 헬스케어 블록체인 분야의 헬스케어 사업이 있는지.
So except for that, do you have any other business 사업 분야에
헬스케어에서 어떤 블록체인 적용하는 그런 프로젝트가 있는지.
do you have any other project going on with blockchain in the healthcare?
In the Netherlands. Yes, there are what we call pilots on the hospital level, into pharmacy and that sort of thing, but they're still very small. Investigating also what to do. The Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sports in the Netherlands asked us to do some and to put some energy into working together with all those others to bundle insights to make that to one kind of policy we can use for blockchain in healthcare in the Netherlands. So we try to connect to make sure that all results are bonded together to make one vision on how to do it in the Netherlands. So there are, but not so concrete, are the other activities. They didn't make any blockchain yet. First explain that, and then I have another.
아, 약국 업체에서도 사용하려고 하는데 그 약국 업체 쪽
약국이요.
그 업체 쪽에서도 조금씩 조짐이 보이는데 그렇게 크진 않고요. 그쪽에서도 이쪽한테 계속 물어본대요. 그래서 이렇게 같이 협력해가지고 하나의 시스템을 만들려고 하는 중이에요.
약국이라는 게 제약회사.
네, 제약.
제약회사에서 왜 블록체인 쓰려고 하는 거죠?
So he's asking why your pharmacy business want to use blockchain.
First, I give another thing to the last discussion, then I'll go into the pharmacy. What's really a problem at this moment is that there are not so much platforms, businesses that offer a blockchain I can use in practice. So I can get my business case to put on that blockchain. We have one supplier we used, but there are not that many others. They first have to develop to be able to get a market on which you can choose which blockchain to use. So it's a little bit of a monopoly at this time. It should be broadened, in our opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have a sole supplier here, and we have the big platforms.
Yeah.
But we really would like to have more firms offering blockchain applications, so we can use them as well in practice.
그 제약회사에 대한 답변은 아닌데 그냥 아까 하는 말 이어말한 거예요. 일단 그래서 지금 블록체인을 제공하는 플랫폼이 많이 없대요. 하나밖에 없대요. 거의 독점적인데 그래서
이게 그 회사인가요? ledger.lab?
Ledger, yeah, that's the one. But we want more Ledger Labs.
더 많은 플랫폼이 있었으면 좋겠다고.
So we can get competition.
너무 지금 독점적이니까.
Pharmacy?
네.
On the farm, you asked a question about why they. When you get medicine in the Netherlands, you probably go to your nearest pharmacist. But it's also possible that during your life you had more than one pharmacist. When I go to a doctor, for example, I'm on holiday, I want to give the doctor information about my medicine. Then I can log into one pharmacist, but it would be very nice and more easy than I use my blockchain and tell to the doctor, just use my credentials, look into all systems I got medicine from, so you get a complete picture of what I'm having and what I'm using. When I am in charge of what is going on in my blockchain, I can authorize a doctor I visit to look into my medicine history from all pharmacists I've been to. That can be temporary, because when I'm ready with the doctor, I can close again the entrance for the doctor, and I can take my medication information with my blockchain elsewhere.
Okay.
So that's why the business case for pharmacy is very big, because in the Netherlands we already decided that everybody should be able to see his or her medication. And now we have to do that one by one. So for the complete picture, I want it all in one. Blockchain gives you a possibility to do that. We haven't developed it yet, but you can think about a possibility like that to be very workable. That's why a lot of people think about pharmacy as an easy way to demonstrate that blockchain will work.
그 지금은 실현된 아이디어가 아닌데, 실현된 그게 아닌데 아이디어 구상하는 게 예를 들어 어떤 사람이 병원 살면서 여러 군데 약국 다녔을 거 아니에요. 예를 들어 다른 약국에 갔는데 그 사람 예전 산 기록을 보고 싶으면 그냥 블록체인 이용하면 한 번에 쫙 볼 수 있다고. 그리고 그걸 약사한테 보여주면 일시적으로 약사가 오픈하고 또 그 약국 떠날 때는 닫을 수 있고, 이렇게 해서 지금은 일일이 하나하나 해야 되는데 블록체인 사용하면 한 번에 다 볼 수 있으니까, 그래가지고 이걸 사용하려는 이유를.
이게 제약회사 약국인 거죠? 제약회사가 아니라 그러면?
예, 약국 갔을 때.
약국이 이제 관심이 있다는 거죠? 제약회사가 아니라?
예.
이거는 그럼 이제 아이디어 차원이고 실제 이제 프로젝트가 진행 중인 건가요?
So is any project going on about this, or it's just idea?
There are ideas, and there are organizations who want to start with this. Because our healthcare system is complex, you have to make a strategy to move in. So there has to be a business case as well, and that's a little bit of a problem. So ideas, yes; actually functioning, not yet. But the possibility when you think about linked data to all sources, this is an idea that would work tomorrow. But and that's the disruptive thing of blockchain. When you do it, you also say that some organizations are less prominent and less necessary than now. So you're going into politics as well. So that makes it a little bit difficult to make a start. And that's the next question: who is going to start? So there are developments, and there are people are willing to, and there are startups working on it. But it's small. But I think in the years to come it will grow, because if the government doesn't start it, some startup will. And will tell you, I have a blockchain for you, just do it. And then we have to see how it will work. So it's not so much a question if it's coming, it's more a question of when it's coming. First tell.
이거 돈도 있고 아이디어도 있고 가능성도 있고 이거 여기 진출하려는 기업도 많은데, 여러분 건강법이 복잡해가지고 한 번에 단 하루아침에 되는 게 아니라, 그래서 거쳐야 할 과정들이 많아가지고 언젠가는 분명히 될 건데, 분명히 되는 건 확실한데, 그러니까 이제 알아야 되는 건 언젠지, 그거만 문제라고, 시간의 문제라고.
Another thing is,
그 과정에서 주도해야 되는 세력이 정부라는 의미 됐었나요?
정부는 in this process of organization trying to get the business case, is government involved in it?
not government, not directly. No, it's more from the healthcare organizations themselves. Healthcare in Netherlands is also organized in regions. So regions are thinking about getting things better. And they're looking at blockchain as well. So there's the main spirit to do something.
보통 기업들이, 정부는 직접적으로 관여되지 않고 기업들끼리 이렇게 알아보는 분야입니다.
거기서 이제 네덜란드 건강보험관리공단의 역할은 무엇인지, 조직하는 여러 기업들이 조사할 때 뭔가 좀 중재자 역할을 하는 건지 모이라고 이렇게 하는 거죠.
네덜란드 건강 그
관리공단? 네.
건강관리공단
네.
이 사람이 일하는 곳인가요?
예, 그런 거. 네.
So the place you work at, the organization, what exactly you guys role? Do you, if there's any dispute between organization, do you settle it? What?
No, we don't do that. We are exploring new possibilities. Talking to all organizations involved to make a common vision for the future.
분쟁 조절하는 역할은 아니고 뭐 새로운 아이디어를 그냥 이렇게 다 수집해서 앞으로 나아갈 방향을 정하는 그쪽 같습니다.
이 국민은 상대로 어떻게 홍보를 하고 있는지 보니까 이제 어제 공항에서 인포메이션 데스크에서
네.
블록체인 베이비라고 혹시 들어봤냐, 생체적 블록체인 베이비라고 봤더니 모른다 하더라고요. 그래서 이제 국민을 상대로 이제 블록체인에 대한 비트코인 투기 부분 때문에 그런 반감도 있을 것 같은데 이 블록체인 프로젝트를 어떻게 국민한테 홍보하고 있는지.
한국에서도
네, 한국에서 이제 비트코인 붐이 있어서 블록체인 자체에 대한 반감도 큰데 네덜란드에서 어제 도착했을 때 물어보니까 그 네덜란드에서 이제 블록체인 기반의 마터니티 케어 서비스를 처음으로 도입하면서 블록체인 베이비라고 하던데 그걸 잘 모른다고 하더라고요. 그러니까 네덜란드에서는 이제 블록체인 프로젝트를 국민한테 어떻게 홍보하고 있는지.
So in Korea, there, I don't know if maybe you heard of it, but last year there was a big boom in Korea about with blockchain,
Okay.
but because of that, we had negative image about the blockchain.
You had many?
We have negative image
Okay.
of the blockchain.
Yes.
Korean people in general.
Yes.
And we're wondering how the Dutch government is promoting blockchain and how Dutch people are accepting
right, yeah.
the blockchain. Yeah.
Everybody in the Netherlands is skeptical about the possibilities because of the negative publicity.
Yeah.
We also were rather skeptic at the beginning.
Yeah.
But when you look into it and you look into the possibilities, you see that there are possibilities you can for things you couldn't do before. So that's why we're still exploring to give a pure discussion about the negative publication and negative publicity, because you shouldn't decide on feelings but on facts. You understand? Okay.
여기서 한국과 마찬가지로 안 좋은 시선이 있대요. 그래서 자기네들도 안 좋은 시선 갖고 있었는데 깊이 살펴보니까 새로운 길이 블록체인이 새로운 길이 열리게 해주는 거라고, 다른 그전에는 다르게 그전에 못했던 거를 블록체인이 해주니까 또 이렇게 그래서 그 부정적인 시선에 너무 깊게 빠져들지 말고 뭐 블록체인이 해줄 수 있는 게 뭔지 거기에 집중해야 된다고.
You understand?
그러면 이제 그 GDPR 문제 좀 다시 한번 들어보다 보면은 개인정보를 수정하거나 삭제할 수 있는 권한을 인정해주고 있는데 블록체인은 수정이나 삭제가 불가능한데 이런 상충하는 걸 어떻게 해결하고 있는지, 그리고 그런 프로파일링 같은 것도 그런 프로파일링과 관련해 그걸 거부할 수 있는 권리도 인정하는 걸로 알고 있는데 일반적으로 봤을 때 이제 헬스케어에서도 그런 문제가 발생하는지 상충하는 문제가 발생하는지 만약 있다면 해결하기 위해서 어떤 방법을 쓰고 있는지.
So back to GDPR.
Yes.
Right now you can either change or remove or profiling or
So as I know that people have the right to resist the profiling.
Yes.
Automatic.
To make changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Changes on the blockchain doesn't work, but you can put new entries on top of the blockchain to make the reality true. So you can't change it, but you can change the facts by putting new things to it. Especially because everybody has a different opinion about GDPR. We have an organization, we gave an order to an organization to look into those aspects, because we want to make sure that we're not getting into trouble with GDPR. But not based on feelings, based on facts again. Because you can talk about it a lot, but you have to have definitive answers if it would work or not. Some people say it works, some people say it don't. So just make sure we gather the facts and take a decision. And I think it will work with GDPR as well. So privacy aspects, we are able to translate the privacy aspects into a reasonable blockchain. Not every blockchain, but on regulated permission blockchains, we are able to put in rules that can match the GDPR. You understand?
네, 그래서
Try again?
just the beginning. 갑자기 기억이 안 나요.
For this discussion, it's the same. No feelings, facts. Investigate and make sure if it works or not.
아 이거 덮어씌우기 가능 그 바꾸는 거하고 지우는 건 덮어씌우기 가능하고 그 세 번째 뭐였죠? 프로파일링? 그거는 답변을 못 드린 것 같은데 그 물어보신 게 뭐였죠? 세 번째 프로파일링?
프로파일링과 관련해서 이제 뭐 청취하는 건 없는지 블록체인과 GDPR 프로파일링 거부권하는.
You know you can reject profiling right now.
You can?
Reject profiling?
Yes, because it's a regulated blockchain.
Yeah.
With a lot of power to the one who uses his information on the blockchain. That's where the regulation comes in. When you are able to regulate that, and profiling is not. Just tell me first this.
So blockchain is regulated.
Blockchain is regulated. Our blockchain is regulated. We think it's necessary to regulate blockchain in healthcare in the Netherlands. Necessity.
그래서 이거를 이게 그냥 막된 블록체인이 아니고 딱 관리된 그 부분은 관리돼야 될 부분은 관리되는 블록체인이라고.
And when you regulate, it's possible to face challenges by GDPR. So this determines, in a lot of ways, what blockchain is acceptable and what not.
그 관리해 줄 부분을 관리하면 이런 문제들을 잘 상충할 수 있다고 하네요.
그 메인조에 대한 시민들의 그런 참여자들의 어떤 만족도는 어땠는지.
What were the satisfaction of the participants?
They were very enthusiastic. Also, the maternity care organizations were very enthusiastic. And then you can also say that the insurance companies were not so enthusiastic. Because they are some sort of a middleman, a third party, which you possibly could do without. Not in this, in the way it's regulated now, but when you are using the possibilities of blockchain, it could be, healthcare could be organized in another way. And then the position of the healthcare company could be discussed. So, in our test, everybody was very enthusiastic. First of all, that a lot of things were digitalized. A lot of things are still on paper over here. But also to have a common truth to work with in the blockchain, with no boss in this process. Because where it comes down to is that the baby gets the right care. And all the rest should be as easy and as simple is possible. So participants were very enthusiastic. They asked us, can we go on? But we don't have a budget to go on. We have questions to answer before we can get real in this blockchain world, in healthcare.
그래서 모든 참여자들이 열정적으로 관심을 보여도 돈도 되고 이게 문서로 됐던 게 다 디지털화도 되고 한 번에 다 이렇게 쫙 관리되니까 모든 참여자들이 열정적으로 좋은 반응을 보였답니다. 그래 더 할 수 있냐고 물었는데 일단은 3개월 후에 이거 더 발전시킨 부분을 발전하고 그래야 돈도 없고 그래서 일단 멈췄는데
그러면 언제 이런 프로젝트 다시 재개할 계획이 있는 건지.
when are you planning to restart the project, something like this?
Probably later this year.
Later this year.
Yeah, not this year, next year.
Yes, sir.
Somewhere next year. Because next year we want to have a vision on blockchain in healthcare together with the Ministry of Health, Welfare and Sports. They have planned to write a mission in next year. So we're making little, what do you call it, bricks of information to put together to get a vision where it's going.
내년에 또 할 계획인데 뭐 네덜란드 국민진흥공단이라고 하나요? 거기랑 같이 이렇게 해서 블록체인 그쪽이랑 블록체인이랑 함께 뭐 만들 계획이 있답니다.
다시 한번 어떤 기관인지 다시 한번 여쭤보네요.
What's the name of the organization?
The Ministry of Wealth, Healthcare and Sports. Just so we have in the Netherlands, we have our national government over here with the parliament,
Yes.
parliament, and they have all sorts of what we call ministries for all kinds of subjects. So we also have the Ministry of Healthcare, Welfare and Sports. In our terms, healthcare, volksgezondheid, welfare, sport. So here. But we also have, you're going to meet André. He is at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. And we have a Ministry of External Affairs, so embassies, that sort of stuff. And underneath here is the National Healthcare Center, Zorginstituut, National Healthcare Center. So we're connected over here, and together with them, 2019 vision on blockchain in healthcare in the Netherlands. So a vision, a booklet on where to go to, because this is making regulations for a complex world of healthcare in the Netherlands. We also do so healthcare. So it's hospitals and doctors and pharmacy, and they are asking where to go with blockchain. So the ministry is writing, and we're delivering insights to make this possible. And in the meantime, the world goes on. So startups are coming with new things, and blockchain itself is developing because it's blockchain now is something different than 2 years ago. So time's going fast. So yes, we are doing the regulating thing and the vision on where to go to, because we have a lot of projects going in that direction, where blockchain or DLT, distributed ledger technology, can be applied. You understand this?
네. 그 성과가 많았는데 예산 부족으로 지금 중단됐다고 했잖아요.
네.
근데 내년부터 이제 다시 재개가 되면은 그때는
네.
좀 영속적인 그런 프로젝트로 영속적인 어떤 사업이 되는 거지.
아,
이게 성과가 있었는데 예산이 부족했다는 이유만으로 이렇게 중단된 게 좀 아쉬운데 내년에는 뭐 이런 사업들이 꾸준히 계속 이어질 것인지 그걸 좀 여쭤보시겠어요?
아.
마터니티 케어 서비스.
이거 사업화 할 건지 아니면
케어를 그러니까 산모가 이제 산후의 조리를 이제 보호미들한테 받잖아요.
예.
근데 그런 서비스들이 이제 마터니티 케어 서비스가
예.
블록체인 기반으로 그런 비용을 주고받는 게 되게 줄었다는 게 장점인데 네, 그런 성과가 있었음에도 불구하고 이제 예산 부족으로 이게 중단됐는데 내년에는 뭐 다시 재개할 때는 이게 계속 이어지는 프로그램이 될 것인지.
So for the maternity project,
Yes.
you have to stop because of the budget.
Yes.
And next year, if you do something like that, are you planning to do it long term or just like?
We're planning for long term, but we do one step at a time.
Oh, okay.
So it's possible that we are doing some tests again next year.
Ah, okay.
We're in a process with the ministry to discuss what aspects need further investigation. When it's necessary to do things with practice, we're going to do it. We've already done it, so that's not a problem. So it's for the long term. Yeah, just first. You understand what I'm telling?
비전은 장기적이고 비전은 장기적이지만 일단 실행은 단계적으로 할 거랍니다. 단계적으로 하면서 고쳐나갈 부분을 고치면서.
그럼 이제 네덜란드 여러 가지 블록체인 프로젝트 진행 중인데
예.
헬스케어 분야가 그 중에서 어떤 좀 주목받고 있는지.
There are many blockchain projects going on in the Netherlands.
Yes.
And how big is healthcare among those?
성공적인 프로젝트의 하나라고 좀 평가받고 있는 거죠.
Is it considered as one of the successful projects?
I think so. It's definitely the project with a working blockchain. All other sectors here are thinking about it, writing thick reports, but I haven't seen a working blockchain yet. So it's a little bit difficult to answer the question if we are further than others. I don't know. But now I'm going to say something that's probably not so nice. There's a lot of talking, but not so much doing. And that's something we propose. Not only talk, not only discuss, but also do it. To make mistakes and to learn from those mistakes. You understand?
really.
Yeah, I think so.
다른 데는 말만 많고 행동은 안 한다고 안 하고 실제로 뭐 되는 건 없었다고. 자기네들은 실제로 이게 실제로 작용된 게 있으니까 하면서 자기네는 하면서 이렇게 고쳐 나간다고.
You are going to talk to France this afternoon or tomorrow, I don't know, because they're doing a lot of good work also internationally. But where it actually is going to work is in practice. I don't need a blockchain that doesn't do anything. It has to work. For us, it's really important to have a real business case. And in healthcare in the Netherlands, I think we do have a business case for blockchain. It's not always that obvious and transparent if there's really a blockchain in other sectors. And that's why I showed you the thing. When you don't need a problem, when you don't have a problem, you don't need a solution. When you do have a problem, you look for solutions, and then you have to talk about blockchain. Is it worth exploring for my business? Not the other way around. So not there's blockchain. Let's try and find some kind of problem. Do you understand what I say? Because just try.
블록체인이 실용성이 없으면 그냥 아무 쓸모가 없는 거라고. 그래서 일단 블록체인 할 때 제일 중요한 거는 실용성이라고.
그러면 이제 M&I partners?
No, again?
M&I partners? You work for M&I?
In?
Yeah.
M&I. Oh yeah.
M&I.
That's difficult.
So you have two jobs?
No. Yeah, actually I have. No, M&I is a advisory company, and I'm hired from M&I into the healthcare institute. So I have two caps. Most of the time I'm a national healthcare center. That's why I'm doing this interview. The one who pays my bills is someone else, because behind my back they have some sort of contract and money is transferred. So I'm able to do the things I do for the national healthcare center. For me, it's a clear cut. All the things I do for the national healthcare center are not interconnected with what I do for an advisory committee. What actually is happening, that people are contacting my employer M&I if they can use my knowledge on blockchain as well. Not so much, but it's coming. But I'm very strict in talking with one cap only as the Dutch National Healthcare, because that's the way it is. I'm obliged to them. I belong to them. The only thing is I'm paid by someone else, but that's not so much of a problem. But it's a little bit confusing, I can imagine.
그 블록체인 처음에 마터니티 케어 서비스 예산이 어느 정도였고 내년에 제기될 때는 이제 관련해서 어느 정도인지.
아, 이거 육아 프로젝트 할 때 예산이요? But how much was the budget for this maternity project this year, and what will be the budget for next year?
What do you think?
$1 million? $1 million euro? First year? This year?
We were with two people at the National Healthcare Center and a developer. So you can find out it's purely personal costs only. It was a development, so there wasn't anything to invest to. So it just was just personal hours. And for the time to come, it will be the same, because we're not going to boom. We see a lot of investors going into cryptocurrency and that sort of stuff, but this is very small, very eager to make sure we make the right decisions on how to use blockchain in healthcare. So the budget wasn't that big. I believe there are a lot of people from banks investing a lot more into blockchain than we did in healthcare. So at this moment it's very small budget. For the coming years, that will be the same. When it's going to be implemented a little bit bigger, then you have some sort of financing model. You need some sort of financing model to do that. But that's not only our business; it's also of the ministry and of the people that are involved in the whole thing. So it's small. I don't exactly know the numbers, but it's not 1 million. I think it's 100,000 euros for 2 years. So there's not much. 2 people and a little bit. So the numbers are not that big. And we also have the order from the ministry not to go too far with spending too much money. So we are very keen on our budget. We're still working hard to look into the problem. It's small. We're not business, we're government. And businesses have a bigger budget, I suppose. When they want it, they spend it. They have a lot of budget, but we don't have.
혹시 통역을 좀 해주세요.
방금 말한 거요? 자기네들 can you cite the main point again? 예를 들어 돈 많이 안 쓰고 다른 뭐 사업 사기 업체에서는 돈 많이 쓸 수 있는데 자기네는 돈 많이 안 쓰고. And what was the main point again? And you basically said you guys can't spend a lot of money because you're from government or other
A
organizations.
limited budget.
Yeah. So you have
Private organizations,
they can spend as much as they want.
if they want to spend money, they do. What I see is that big companies spend more on blockchain,
And that
but we don't have the budget. We have a limited budget and we have to stay within. It's that simple.
오케이. 사기 업체들은 블록체인에 돈을 더 많이 쓰는데 자기네들은 정부 기관이라서 이게 버젯이 제한돼 있어서 그렇게 사기 업체처럼 많이 쓰지는 못한다고. 그래서
그 네덜란드가 이게 전 세계적으로 봤을 때도 이 블록체인 프로젝트를 가장 많이 이렇게 시도하는 것 같은데
예.
그럴 수 있게
유럽에서요?
된 그런 것 같아요. 전 세계적으로 봤을 때도 그렇게 된 어떤 배경이랄까 어떤 네덜란드에서 블록체인 사업이 좀 이렇게 활발하게 진행될 수 있었던 배경.
I think Netherlands is one of the countries that have very stimulating blockchain society.
Yes,
And what do you think is the reason for that?
Dutch are in all ages. We always are everywhere because we are into services. You know the VOC. We sailed in the golden age.
예전부터
We moved around the world.
대항해 시대.
It's our entrepreneurship, probably. When we believe in something, we're going to promote it. We're a small country, but we're good at services delivery. And this is a thing where we can trade in, where we can earn money in. So that's why the people at the National Blockchain Coalition think we should be prominent in the world on this subject. That's not so much our business because we are into the government and into healthcare in the Netherlands. What I see is that the Dutch Blockchain Coalition and Maluspomp are going around the world to sell our knowledge to the rest of the world. It's fine with me, but I have to focus on how to go in the healthcare in the Netherlands.
예전부터 막 향해하고 막 물건 팔려다니고 상인들 많았잖아요. 그래서 거기에서 볼 수 있듯이 자기네들 뭐 돈이 되고 그 될 수 있다고 믿으면 자기네들이 한대요. 그래가지고 블록체인을 자기네들이 그렇게 믿어가지고 이렇게 활성화되는 것 같아요.
그러면 이제 혹시 더 포인트가 또 있나요? 그러면 이제 이 블록체인 프로젝트를 상업화할 때, 그러니까 뭐 마터니티한 거랑 솔루션 같은 것도 상업화를 해서 다른 나라나 어떤 이런 데 좀 팔 수 있는 건지, 블록체인 솔루션 개발해서
마터니티 케어를요?
그런 걸 비롯한 그런 블록체인 서비스를 다른 나라에 어떤 팔 수 있는 건지.
So, for example, maternity care or anything else, if you develop it, do you think you can sell it to other countries?
Yes, it's possible. Yeah, the results and the insights are very interesting because blockchain is a new development, and there's a lot of things to find out. A lot of people are enthusiastic. There are other people who are skeptic about it. But what I said earlier, we want to make sure that we're not telling ghost stories, but facts.
Yeah.
No feelings, facts. And when the facts are good, and we're good at that, then it's possible to have a good discussion about further development.
그래서 뭐 결과가 이거 엄청 흥미롭잖아요. 그래서 뭐 볼 수 있듯이 뭐 블록체인 믿는 사람도 있고 회의적인 사람도 있는데 이게 사실만 근거해서 이게 확실히 적용되는 거면 뭐 안 될 이유가 없다고.
그러면 그 뭐 해외에서도 이런 비슷한 헬스케어 분야에서의 블록체인 사업이 좀 진행되고 있는 게 있는지.
Can you help him? Just go on.
이게
Look at the camera. 1, 2, 3. Doet hij het? Goed, dankjewel. Oh yeah, very good.
Oh, good.
Otherwise my colleagues won't believe it.
Oh yeah. In other countries, you know, something that you did maternity care here in the Netherlands.
Yes.
아, 하나 이제 궁금한 게 그 제3자가 이제 신뢰받는 재산이 이제 필요 없다는 게 블록체인의 가장 특징인데.
Want to drink something?
Oh yes, you want to drink. 네.
One water, please.
Mag ik nog een koffie van je?
I also had another question. Is it okay if we vacuum here for or would you like to maybe wait until we're finished?
We're almost finished.
Oh, finished?
Yeah.
I'll wait a few minutes.
그 제3자가 이제 필요 없는 게 이제 블록체인 특징인데
네.
그렇다면 이제 기존의 어떤 기득권을 갖고 있는 사람들이 이 블록체인에 대한 어떤 거부감이나 이런 게 좀 있을 것 같은데 그런 이제 기존의 규제와 충돌되는 부분도 있을 것이고 이런 부분들 어떻게 좀 극복해 나가는지.
So one of the characteristics of blockchain is that you don't have the third party.
Yes.
And he's wondering, the people in power.
Yes.
For example, the government.
Yes.
They might be against it. They might not feel familiar to it. How would you cope with this problem?
All right. Yes.
The third-party banks and insurance, for example.
Yes. As I already mentioned, our healthcare is very much regulated. So working against the rules is also people look into it. So the rules are very strict. So the authorities are not so and don't have so much problems with the blockchain phenomenon as long as they can put their rules into the blockchain. So that's why the governance aspect comes in, and that's why we're doing an investigation on that as well, to make sure that the system works as developed, as it should be.
예를 들어 이 분야에서는 엄청 제한이 많잖아요. 그래서 그 제한 안에서만 움직이면은 문제 없다고. 그래서 그 제한에 맞게 블록체인 다 이렇게 보고 알아보고 뭐 어긋나는 거 없이.
Understand? So that's why we want to know more about that. Is it possible to implement our complex regulations into a blockchain that works in line with that? Is it possible to put things in smart contracts? What should we do to regulate the blockchain? That's why we don't choose a public blockchain, but a permission blockchain.
그래서 그 제한에 다 맞추고 또 실용적인 블록체인 만들기 위해 알아보는 중이고. 그래서 you said that's why you don't use public but permission?
Permission?
Permission. 그래서 퍼블릭으로 안 쓰고. 네, 그걸 permission.
Blockchain in healthcare in the Netherlands will only work when the government has something to say about it. So in that way we reduce all kinds of resistance not to use the blockchain. And because it's actually all public money coming from our taxes, when it's going to be more efficient, more effective, everybody thinks we should do it. But first we have to reason to tell why it's important to do it with blockchain and not with something else. So we have to what you call it, overtuigen. We have to make sure that everybody understands the positive effects of using this new technology.
이 사람들이 사기업도 아니고 공기업으로서 세금으로 운영하는 거니까 다 도움되면 안 할 이유가 없는데 그 전에 이렇게 다 실용성이 있고 이게 제대로 작동되는지 범위를 맞춰서 그거부터 알아봐는 게 중요하다고 일단.
Blockchain is a very difficult subject.
It is.
Yeah.
The technology is not easy. The world is not easy. When you want to regulate all those sort of things in healthcare, it's not easy. So, information exchange in healthcare is not easy. But when a complex technology like blockchain comes in, it's worth investigating how it can help. That's the bottom line. And if it helps, use it. If it doesn't help, get rid of it. It's that easy.
아 그래서 뭐 이게 다 쉽지 않지만 실용성 있는지 알아보는 게 중요하고 뭐 없는 건 쳐내고 뭐 있는 거 계속 이렇게 새로운 기술이니까 알아보는 게 중요하다고 합니다.
인터뷰는 이제 여기서 마무리해야 될 것 같긴 한데
아,
네. 너무 감사드리고요.
Thank you very much for coming. Is there
very good, yes.
그래서 쉽지는 않은 것 같아요. 이렇게 먼 나라에서 와가지고 사실 네덜란드 건강보험에 대해서 제대로 모르는 상태에서 이렇게 질문하는 것 자체가 어려운데 그래도 되게 너무 성실하게 잘 대답을 잘해주셔서
It must not be easy for you to interview, but thank you very much for answering all the questions.
The big problem in these kinds of interviews is not that we don't like each other, but the language barrier. And I think internationally the differences in ecosystems we have. Healthcare in the United States is something completely different from what healthcare is here. Healthcare with you is something completely different. So the discussion is difficult because you have to plot concepts onto each other. So what we're trying to do is to make our findings reusable in other contexts. And I think there are a lot of people traveling around the world explaining how our blockchain activities are, but you always have to go back to, do I have a problem? Is blockchain a solution? If not, get rid of it. If it does, use it. But use it with your mind. Make sure everything is okay. Because if it's not good, you have to do something. In the public interest.
근데 네덜란드 사람은 어떻게 영어를 잘하는 거죠?
아 얘는 다 잘.
그러니까 I wonder how people in Netherlands can use English very fluently.
We have to.
It's not your
We are small, so we have a lot of land to
in the world.
Yes. We have our foreign countries are big. We are small. So when you have to sell your products around the world, you have to be prepared. So and next to that, the European Union is very English oriented. We have a lot of connections with the United States from our history. So our focus is very much on international development. You have to do when you are small and the water is rising, because we are low and nobody speaks Dutch. So you have to do something.
살아남기 위해.
네, yesterday I visit Rijksmuseum, 맞나요?
Rijksmuseum, yes.
암스테르담 국립미술관이 맞나요?
You've seen the Night Watch?
네, what?
You liked it?
아니, 네, 굉장히 그 네덜란드의 과거의 어떤 영광이라든지 이런 것들이 많이 잘 드러났던 작품들이 많은 것 같은데 그때 뭐 17th century the cloth industry guild
Yes.
was very famous in that time.
Yes.
So there are many paintings related to that subject.
Klopt. Yeah, that's right. When you do have time, you have to visit the Maurits Museum as well. It's over here at the House of Art Museum Mauritshuis. You know that? They have a lot of paintings as well. Mauritshuis. It's one of our ancestors of the current king. But we do have, yeah, we call it a golden age. I suppose ships from here also got all the way around to your Korea.
골든 에이지 is not 네덜란드의 골든 에이지가 아직 끝나지 않았고 블록체인이 그런 또 황금 시대를 열 수 있는 또 열쇠가 될 수 있다고 믿는지.
믿는지. Do you believe blockchain could lead to another golden age of Netherlands?
That's it. Because in the golden age we had a lot of ships sailing around the world, doing trade, bringing things from here over there and back. And what we are now doing is the same thing. But we're not trading goods, we're trading knowledge. Because when you're small, you have to have knowledge to be able to drive trade with bigger countries and other communities. So it's a golden age of knowledge, I suppose. That's where the blockchain coalition comes in. They are very much obliged to that, to making trade with other countries using blockchain technology and blockchain knowledge as an asset to exchange.
재택근무를 you work from home
Again?
today? You work from home?
Yes, yes. There are a lot of mails waiting and telephone calls, and I don't know if you knew that we have an office in Amsterdam where I work at the National Healthcare Center, but we have good connections, so I can go to my home, connect my computer to the network, and I can work as if I was at the office. But it saves me 2 times 1.5 hour traveling there and traveling back. I can work in those hours. And I don't need to see my colleagues every day. I phone them, but I don't have to see them.
편할 것 같아요. I think that it's very comfortable to work home from home. But
Yeah.
I write articles,
Yes?
but it's a work. Regardless how we work, where we work.
Yes? You work at the office all the time.
Yeah.
They have to see you. It's trust. Trust from the blockchain. My boss has to trust me that I do the things I have to do. And he sees it by my mails and my documents are right and the things I do. So it's much about trust. When there's less trust, you have to be more at the office. But your boss trusts you to go to Europe, so that should be something. There's nothing my boss will do.
Trust is a very important asset to work from home.
That's it. Yeah. And that's everywhere. When people meet, you have to some sort of connection, create some sort of connection. And that's where the music comes in. I do a lot of music. It's how you interact with the public. It's how you go along. And I think it's very important. That's why I come here, because I think it's important to make connections. And I won't come to Korea because I'm not so much of a flying man. But when you come over here and you take all the energy to get me around this table, then I will come. You understand what I say?
Yeah.
Because you have to tell him. For me, it's very important that when you take all the energy to get me here, that I'm really here. That's how people should connect, I think.
성의가 중요하다고. 성의 때문에 이렇게 나온 거야.
Thank you.
And I've learned.
처음에 메일을 보냈을 때 너무 상세하게 그런 네덜란드 건강보건 관련한 자료를 많이 주셔가지고 그때 정말 감사했고 더 친밀할 수 있게 꼭 만나야겠다 이렇게 생각했었던 것 같아요.
He was very thankful when you first replied to his email and sent
Oh,
all
yeah.
the details.
Yeah.
He was very thankful.
Okay. Could you use the material I sent? Did it mean anything? Because that's really important. I already told in my emails it's difficult to go around language barriers. I told you about a French girl I had on the email, and she took everything through Google Translate, and it went everywhere but blockchain. So it's very difficult to And I already found out when we went to the European Committee in Brussels to explain my thoughts in a way you can understand what I'm thinking, because that's what is going to take us further. I have to understand you, and you have to understand what I'm thinking. And that's, I found out it's really difficult in international contexts when you talk about a complex problem like blockchain, but also a complex, here I give you this, a complex world like healthcare in the Netherlands, because it's so much different from everywhere else. So you have to understand what's locally organized. I don't know your healthcare system in Korea. The only thing I know about Korea is Seoul because of the Olympics and the border with the north and the images taken there. But when you really want to understand, you have to go to live there. So you should come and live here like this guy. How old are you?
24.
24. And 3 years in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Are you staying here?
No. Studying.
Studying.
Yeah.
And are you going back?
No.
Why not? Why not?
I just didn't make any plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
한국에서 왠지 일을 알아보시는 건가?
아니 한국 말고. 딱히 계획은 없어요. Yeah.
I envy him. I also, when I was young, I also think about the going abroad to study. He complete one year left.
예, 1년.
1년 남았죠.
Here. And you do business administration?
Yeah.
Okay. At Erasmus?
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good over there.
Yeah.
And Rotterdam is the city center of the world.
Yeah.
Can I take it?
Yeah. For sure.
It's a
I'll just
souvenir.
see if you. Yeah, you have to have a good souvenir of me. I look for a card because that's. I now understand. Wait a minute, I have cards here as well. But it's an old card.
Oh,
That's not good. I should have some.
이거 부채가 영어로 뭐죠?
부채
So prison is not
Oh, very good.
not a great thing. Just
you know
a little prison.
I found this in my.
Oh, thank you. My baby like it.
You have a little girl. Girl or a boy?
Boy.
Boy.
Two boys.
Two. Oh, I'll scan you my card.
Oh.
I have a lot of garbage in my pocket, but yesterday I thought I should have taken. Wait, what's this? Oh, here.
Oh.
Mijn zorgloop.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's good.
Can I get the screen capture of the?
Yes. I'll just have to send it.
Okay. Thank you.
I have this one with mijn zorgloop. Yeah.
So making wind by hand.
Ah, very good. Oh, I'll keep it a secret. Oh, that's very good. I like it very much. My wife will like it. Oh, very good. I leave it untouched and open it at home?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Very good. All right.
Okay.
You go with him this afternoon?